Hey y'all, I'm Shayna and I'm back with another review. This is for Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 7 in Nashville. This is Jamaican Me Crazy. And before we get into it, if you didn't see on my community tab, I stated, I got into a car accident and this comes a few weeks after losing my job. So I appreciate anyone who reached out and showed some type of support, care, or concern. I definitely thank you during this rough time. And my subscribers who have been riding with me, thank you so much. If you haven't yet subscribed, check out my other content. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe at the end because I am trying to grow my channel. And don't forget to like and comment on the video. Okay, so I was going to start with Eris and Jasmine. Y'all know for this show and this show only, I do couple by couple. But I think I'm going to start with Clint and Gina, and then we'll go on to Jasmine and Eris and just go in random order because the show started with them. So let's go ahead and pick up with those two. So we pick up with Gina playing victim. About Clint's comments, she's sitting there with her confessional cam, acting as if, he just tore her down and she didn't say anything about him at all when we know she did. And I'm just thinking, a lot of it, I think, the ladies put the battery on her back when they had the girls meeting about, oh, we didn't like what he said, he offended us. Okay, but why y'all don't keep that same energy with Kirsten every time she talk about Shaq and his bald head? Y'all don't have this energy. Y'all don't have all this fever. So the same energy y'all giving him, y'all need to hold each other accountable. So Clint is expressing his frustrations with Eris and Chris. And Eris is trying to justify Gina's reaction. And even later on, he has said that Clint was wrong. If you don't know the backstory and the context in which he's doing it, then yeah, you may think so. I don't feel that him saying that he dates slender women, how's that a stray bullet to the other women? Like, why are you offended? Okay, y'all not married to him. Y'all not dating him. So why are you in such an uproar? I don't consider myself a slender woman, so it didn't hurt my feelings. So I don't understand. But okay. They both were being petty. So both of them, if he was wrong, she was wrong too. They both were wrong. He was wrong for saying it in response to what she was saying. She said it, the way that he went about it, he said it because his feelings were hurt. So they both were wrong. She was wrong for just coming out and talking about his redhead anyway. Later at dinner, Gina said she and Clint had a conversation and settled their differences. So, she claimed he apologized. But that apology he gave to the group didn't sound like no apology. It sounded like he was just stating why he said what he said. But he didn't really say sorry, but okay. But she said he apologized and she's ready to move forward. Clint, tries to offer an apology or something like that to everyone. Nicole speaks on behalf of the ladies and says, well, if Gina forgives you, then so do we. Does it matter? Okay, that's nice, that's great, but it's not your marriage, so he don't really need your forgiveness. But okay. Clint said that he and Gina are not the only ones that are going to have these issues. Y'all not the only ones having issues right here, right now. Okay, y'all won't be the only ones. Y'all aren't the only ones. Really, if you ask me, there was no fun to be had on this honeymoon. No fun, no chemistry with any of the couples, Nicole and Chris aside. None of these couples I see lasting or making it. This honeymoon, the honeymoon episodes were 2 episodes. Usually it's a few episodes. Y'all gave nothing. So yeah, y'all, Clint and Gina ain't the only ones. He's right. Everyone rates their marriage. Gina gives it a 5. I thought that was being pretty generous. And Clint gives it a 5.5. So that caught me off guard that they gave such a high rating. At the shared apartment later on when they get back to Nashville, Clint said he wants friends over for a Mexican fiesta. Gina basically put her dog on Clint and she was like, look, you can take him if you want because he's not allowed in the salon. Where is he normally at when you in the salon is what I want to know. How you just going to offer him to Clint? You don't even know Clint can handle dogs well or you don't even know if your dog won't like him. But okay. Okay. Eris and Jasmine. How? What's the criteria to be on the show? Because how did Eris get on the show? How? It's not even like good drama at this point. It's just like, why is Jasmine going through this? Every single season, it's like, a woman, like it's giving Paige and Chris, and I don't like it. So at the group dinner, everyone's rating their marriage. Jasmine mentions once again that Eris is 39 and never been in love. Girl, we know. Okay, we heard you. We got it. Okay. She proceeds to say, well, maybe he ain't never been with a Jasmine. Girl, it ain't gonna be you either, okay? Judging from right here, right now, he ain't about to fall in love with you either. Sorry to say it. I know that's your husband, your husband. It's not gonna be you neither, okay? It ain't gonna be at the year 39 or 40 or nothing. It might not be ever, because he ain't ready to get out them streets. Jasmine gives the marriage a 7.5. She said 7.5 or even an 8. How and why? Like, I know she want to be married so bad, but all we've seen her doing is catering to him. We haven't seen him cater to her or go out of his way for her or even really say anything nice about her during the entire duration. I don't even see him making eye contact with her. So how is this marriage a 7.5 or even an 8? Who the standards are in hell. Okay. So Aries gives it a 7. Max says in his confessional, he thinks some people lying, some people telling tall tales. I think everybody, aside from Chris and Nicole, I think Chris and Nicole are living in some like bubble, some la fairyland. They're in the honeymoon stage, okay? Them two aside, all of y'all lied when y'all gave the rating. Every last one of y'all gave the rating it was a little boost because he ain't the only one. About most of them said about 7 or whatever, and I don't see how. But okay, but I mean, is he lying? Yeah, he is. So after Eris gets done telling his tall tale about the marriage being a 7, Chris puts Eris on the spot and asks if he can see himself falling in love with Jasmine. And Jasmine in the after party said that she should have picked up on that because Chris don't even normally speak out. So then when he asked that, it's like obviously that was a hint that basically Eris was full of it and telling a story. So she should have caught on to that. Cause how you gonna say it's a 4 and say 7? Okay. But I do think it was too soon to be asking that question. I mean, he didn't say is he in love with her. He said can he see himself falling in love with her? But y'all have only been in a honeymoon. I still feel it was too soon. I think once you get out into the real world, that is when you can make a judgment call. Sorry, about can I see myself falling in love with you? Because I don't know how you are. I've only seen you at a wedding. I've seen you in Jamaica, but I haven't seen you in life. So it's too soon. Give it the first week after the shared apartments to act something like that, but not in a honeymoon. But Eris, of course, avoids the question and says it's only been a week. He ain't answering. He ain't answering that question. Because why would he say no in front of everybody? Look at how y'all tore down Clint. Now, Eris is worse. If he would have said how he really felt, because at least Clint actually did find Gina attractive initially. Eris never did. So, yeah, y'all would be dragging him for filth. So the next morning, Eris is exercising. And he says in his little selfie cam that he's attracted to her, but their attraction level isn't the same. Why do you feel the need to keep telling us that? Like, okay, we heard you. We got it. Like, if you're attracted to her, just say, I'm attracted to her and just leave it. Like, he's like, oh, I feel so bad. That's not the same. Okay, it might get there. You don't got to keep saying it, though. He don't like her. Anywho, Eris got back to their room, and of course, Jasmine had breakfast ready because that's just what she do. That's just how she is. Okay. So Jasmine said, well, Eris was like, look, I noticed a shift after I gave the rating and I gave a lower rating. I noticed a shift in like an energy between us. The vibes ain't vibing. Jasmine said the last few days have been tough for her. And not to go too much into the after party, because I didn't even watch the whole after party. I need to watch the whole thing. But in the after party, she did say they exchanged Instagrams. And they were like, oh, how do you know that? Looking at the mutual followers. And it's like, how do you know this person? Well, how do you know that person? She's like, oh, how you know her? And that's when he broke it down to her that, he slept with somebody, which we already know. He slept with somebody 2 weeks prior to the wedding. But she knows the person. And I've seen a lot of people saying like that was her friend. I didn't pick up on like they were like super close girlfriends because she would have known him or probably heard about him or something. I think like she just knew her, and it was just the principle of we're about to get married. We've been going through this process, because they go through this process for a long time, like months on end. So now that you know that you've been selected or we getting close to it, you're sleeping with somebody, and then it happens to be somebody I know. So I mean, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. Um, Jasmine said his family told her that it takes a while for him to come out of his shell, so she's trying to give him grace. Now you want to hear what the cousin had to say? No, he don't need all this great. Like, it don't take him that long. It ain't take him that long to come out of his shell to ask you what position you like and how you like, what yoga positions you enjoy. He ain't take him a while to come out and ask you that. So I don't want to hear it. He's just not that into you, and she know it. She know it, and rejection hurts. It sucks. Nobody wants to be on the end of rejection, especially because she wants this to work. But get out while you can. Like, now you have more exposure. Your husband might be watching this show thinking, look at how you treating her. Let me step in when she say no on decision day and step up, okay? So Eric put her in a friend zone, said he only see her as a friend, and of course she's disappointed because nobody wants to hear that from their husband. It's not like, oh, you my friend, my homie lover and friend, like you my best friend, but no, he just look at you like you know, his homegirl, and that's it, that's all. But he said he knows that she would wipe his butt if he was in an accident and, something happened to him. She would be there to take care of him. He made no mention that he would do the same for her. So some friend he is. Even if we're friends, friendship is a two-way street. Jasmine, wake up, honey. Open your eyes and wake up. So as they pack to leave, Eric said, he's anxious to see how it is living together, and he's never lived with anyone. Why has no one aside from Jasmine lived with anyone? Like, what? Why has nobody lived with anyone? Like, I feel like you shouldn't even be on the show. Maybe one or two people, but like the majority of the people should have, a little more serious relationship experience prior to jumping into a marriage. Like, y'all ain't live with nobody but your mama, and now you're ready to be married. That's just crazy to me. To a stranger. So when they get to the apartment, their number is 313, and Eric thinks that's a good omen because he used to visit his dad in Detroit, and that's the area code. And, Jasmine said it's good juju. Let's just hope so. Let's just hope so. Because your dad being, around you, feel him in the air, ain't going to make you like that woman. Here come Pastor Cal giving his speech in between the scenes off the prompter. The experts need to get involved. Now, back in the day, we would have seen something from the experts, especially Gina and Clint's situation when they was going back and forth. They would have stepped in and got on that camera and sat and got on Skype and been sitting up there talking to these couples. We probably won't see them again. Might see them one more time and then decision day. Like this, goodness. Got to do better. So, Eris is being a dictator, telling her how the apartment's going to go. I got this side. I'm sleeping on this side of the bed. Don't touch my drawer. Don't this, don't that. You can, have the conversation. Y'all can come to an agreement without it being, a dictatorship. But she just laying there like a doormat. Okay, husband. Okay, that's fine. Okay, whatever you say. Girl, all that bending over backwards ain't making him any more attractive to you, so there's no point. Maybe if you put your foot down and stand up for yourself, maybe he would, first of all, respect you. And maybe he might be attracted to that, because what you doing, he don't like it, so ain't no point in doing it. He trying to run everything and talking about you walk around with shoes in your house. And she's like, yeah. He's like, well, you got dogs, and that's just how y'all is. She's like, y'all? What you mean, y'all? I don't particularly like when people walk around, maybe on hardwood floors, but I'm not on carpet, and I don't know, it's all that dirt and stuff. But it's like, he don't have to tear her down about it. Like, okay, he's like, well, I hope your people, you let them know, and I know it'll be an adjustment for you. She's like, it's not going to be a hard adjustment. Like, it's not that serious. I can take my shoes off. It's fine. And it's like, girl, stand up for yourself. Stand up. Okay. So the next day we see Air's home, which looks nice, but I always have to wonder on these shows, is it his home or is it just an Airbnb that he's using for the time being? I don't know. But we see his gym that he has and his shoe collection. We see his father's obituary. And he said it was a double funeral because his uncle passed like a few days prior, which is very, very sad, very unfortunate. And he said he just feels like a little boy still waiting for his dad to come home at times. And that I don't even want to imagine. So my heart goes out to him. I understand that affects people differently, and clearly that plays a part in why he's like a grown man child. But at some point, it's like we can't use that as a reason for stunted growth. Like, you have to grow. I know a lot of people were confused, wondering who that was on his necklace. I always figured it was his father because people usually have someone who passed in those necklaces. So that was obvious to me. I don't know why people weren't catching on, but Jasmine did make that clear that he walks around and wears that every day. And I think he just needed a father figure in his life. Like, his father passed, and he said early on he never had a father figure step in. So then we have Shaq and Kirsten. They didn't give us anything. Like, I don't really, we could get rid of them. They bring nothing to the table. But we'll start off with them. Everyone was rating their marriage at the group dinner. But before Kirsten could even give her rating, she, of course, had to tear down Shaq in some kind of way. So she was saying they had an issue, that he was playing too much. He's too playful. I haven't seen him be playful this entire time. It looks like he's starting to shut down at this point. But she gives their marriage a 7. And like I said before, everybody's telling stories, because how was it a 7? Like, you don't even want that man touching you or even looking at you. Shaquille also gives the marriage a 7, saying he's anxious to see where it goes. Don't give it a 7 because you want to see where it goes. Rate how it is right now today. But it seems like he knows this ain't going to last. So as they're packing to leave, Kirsten said Shaq is messy. And he's like, I'm on vacation. That's not how I live my day-to-day life. Like, yeah, you are living out of suitcases. Like, you can't make a judgment call on how somebody is on vacation. At the shared apartment, Shaq asks if they would wash clothes together now that they're living together. And she said no. I wouldn't do that either. I would not. I didn't do that and wouldn't do that. Like, why are we washing clothes together? Like, she's like, I'll wash your clothes and then I'll wash mine. I'm not mixing clothes with nobody. Like, my clothes are my clothes, yours are yours. I don't care if we have the same washing process. Like, I don't need to wash them all together just because we live together. That don't make no sense to me. But I saw mixed reviews on that. I didn't realize people even did that. I never knew that was a thing. So they get into the bed, and I'm like, is this a full-size mattress? Come on, Married at First Sight. Like, the budget, this season 16. Y'all got to do better with these beds. So then we have Dominique and McKinley. And at the group dinner, everyone, was rating their marriage. So Dom and Mac both rated their marriage a 7.5. And I don't know how. Dom doesn't like him. He is trying to appease her. First of all, I don't think he was her type. They don't like to do the same thing. She wants to ride horses. He don't. Like, they're not getting along. So the next morning, Dom says she wants Mac to do, some of the same things she wants to do. Like, she wants him to want to do those things, not just do them because she's, like, making him do it or suggesting that he does it. And she feels like a coach constantly trying to hype him up. I feel like that would be a cheerleader, but okay. He says he feels the opposite. He feels like she's constantly critiquing him, and he feels like he's been giving her the benefit of the doubt, and she's not reciprocating it. And it's just her way or the highway. Like, he just is always trying to work with her, but she doesn't give him that same grace. Y'all aren't going to like the same things. Y'all are two different people, and you just met. So at the shared apartment, Max says that he has an idea of, what it's like to live with someone, because he had girlfriends who spent the night, his ex would spend the night for consecutive days, 4 or 5 days at a time. That is not the same. Like, I don't understand why people think that's the same. I had a friend who said the same thing before. Like, she had a drawer at her boyfriend's house. That is not the same. Visiting somebody, you can visit somebody 7 days a week. Living with them is completely different. So we see Mac's second family's home where he's staying with the family friend. And he was saying he didn't want to rush into anything. He wanted to find a place with his wife. Clearly, he came to Nashville strictly for the show, but why didn't they just get people who were already in Nashville instead of getting somebody who just stepped foot onto Nashville soil? So she's nervous. She says she's used to dating somebody who's more established. She likes men who have their own place. I don't think that's a big ask. Like, she's 25, but he's 34. He should, I mean, come on now. And someone said, who wants somebody established at 25? Like, 25-year-olds just want someone who's cute. That's not true. I did. I would want somebody who was established at 25. I had my own place at 25. I was a mother at 25. So I feel like that's not that young. People, that's the average age of getting married is like 27. So asking for somebody who's established at 25 is not a big ask, especially when he's 9 years older than her and she's the one who has herself together and he's trying to figure it out. It's not like he's just moved to Nashville, but prior to he was settled. She said before that he was in California winging it. Before that you're here, you're there, you're everywhere, you're never settled anywhere. So it's not giving stability. So she's nervous about it, and I understand. Dom doesn't feel like he's stable and she has no desire to leave Nashville. Like, she don't know if she want to be there long term because he's always moving around and she doesn't like that because she doesn't want to move. And he said he didn't want to just jump into getting a place. Like, he wanted to take his time. But she was like, okay, but you were willing to jump into a marriage with a stranger? I gotta agree with her on this. Like, she has been a little naggy, but she's right on this one. And on the after party, Jasmine said she felt like Dominique was judging. She was judgy because he was in a transitional phase, and she felt like she was judging his transition. If you're in the middle of transitioning, you shouldn't be signing up to get married at first sight. You need to get settled and then try to get married. And finally, we have Nicole and Chris, and I really could have did without them too. But at the group dinner, Chris rates the marriage at 8.2, and Nicole was like, oh my God, I was going to say the same thing. It's such a coincidence that I was going to say 8.22. Like 8.2, y'all both were going to say 8.2. That's an odd rating, so okay. But she was like, I'm not being naive. I understand that things may change once we get out into the real world. Once we get to the apartment, I know that things could change, and they will. So in Clint's confessional, he's insisting that Nicole is from New York. She's going to walk all over Chris, and he ain't going to know what to do. And I'm just like, why do you keep saying this? Maybe she won't. Just let it happen. So the next day, Chris is sobbing, like crying like someone passed. Like, he's uncontrollably crying, hyperventilating. And she's like, oh, baby, what's wrong? And he's like, they told me that there's a 2-dog limit at the apartment. We know they have 3 dogs. He has 2 and she has 1. So she's consoling him. And I'm like, who's watching the dogs now while y'all in Jamaica? Obviously, you found somebody to watch the dogs now. So what is the big deal? Get somebody to watch your dogs. You're only going to be in an apartment for 2 months. Rotate dogs. Leave the dog at the house. Go back to your place and check on the dog. Feed the dog. Walk them. And then go back to the apartment. I don't know. Maybe because I'm not a dog lover like that. He's sleeping in bed with the dogs. I don't know. So Nicole said in her confessional that they've been close to perfect. Close to perfect. That's a reach. But she said she's going to try to figure out. They're going to solve the problem. She's going to be the problem solver in the marriage. He's going to be crying with his issues, and she's going to be trying to solve the problem. So Chris said he's willing to basically sacrifice the marriage for the sake of the dogs. Like, if it comes to leaving them dogs behind, he'd rather not even be in the marriage. That's what I gathered from it. Nicole calls her dad and asks if he can help dog sit. And this is so unfair. She has 1 dog. She has to sacrifice her dog because you can't. She's not even from Nashville. So she don't have no family there. He's from there. His family lives there. But she has to be the one to get somebody from out of state to watch her 1 dog. Put the dog in a kennel. Like, I mean, there's so many options. I don't understand. So she calls the dad, and he was like, "Well, do you want me to take the dog to Florida?" She's like, "I don't want to be away from the dog that long," but he's willing to help her out and dog sit. Chris isn't trying to do anything on his end to resolve the issue. He didn't call nobody. He didn't ask anybody if they could dog sit. He didn't offer up any kind of resolution. He just let it fall on her lap. So Nicole's dog is going to stay at her apartment with one of her family members for a few weeks, and I just feel like this gonna come up. I hope she don't resent him for it, but I think she will because on Mad Day it's gonna be like, okay, but I'm the one that sacrificed living with my dog and all that, so it's gonna come up. At the shared apartment, they agree to communicate if they have issues and not let it fester. Nicole asks if today was decision day, would he say yes? And they both say yes, they would say yes. Easy to say he would say yes after 1 week of knowing each other. She asks if he loves her. And again, like, why do you keep this is the second time in a matter of days that you were asking this? Like, what? Stop. So he was like, no, I mean, but I like you. He's like, no, not yet. I like you. And she's like, oh, good, because I don't either. If you didn't either, you wouldn't be saying anything. If he would have said yes, she would have said yes for sure. So yeah, okay. It's giving Steve Annoy from last season, and we see how that marriage worked out. So let's not too much. Like, don't push it. You saying you love him, you don't even know how he handles anything, bills, responsibility, nothing. He can't even handle his dogs. But that was the end of the episode. Let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.